Frank,
Hello, how's it going?
fantastic. I wanted to have a chat with you because you actually got a chain spoiler or a
Oh
shadow
yeah.
spoiler, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but it would be very, very funny if it was. Look, I know I'm not getting a Prism spoiler, and that's really all it means to me. That's as long as it's not a Prism spoiler, I think we'll be fine.
If I was LSS, I would send you something stupidly good like the monastery fable or something, you know
Oh
what
my
I
god, that'd be very funny.
mean? I kind of have one question. I mean, I have
Please.
a couple, but there's like one theme I want to have in this conversation. I fell into content creation and I wasn't ready. So like some of the stuff of maintaining some consistency and all that is a little bit tricky. How did you, going from no content, end up doing 90 days in a row? And what were the
Yeah.
challenges?
Um. Well, so I mean, my background is in marketing uh for uni. I did science communication, which is kind of like the marketing of science, whatever. But I kind of did it on a whim. I was really thinking, and I knew Dust Till Dawn was coming out, and I was really excited to just to like see some more shadow cards and such. And like I'm really really passionate about the game, and I really like just most aspects of it. It's all very very cool. It's very fun, and I wanted to be a part of the kind of history of it, like have my own little spoiler card. And so I was racking my brain to see kind of what I could do that would be good for me. And the kind of like base requirements were something that was sustainable. Just because I've done some like random streaming or podcasting stuff, and like I'm really just driven by my passion. So as long as I know I can do something and it's sustainable, I don't want to burn out or I don't want to like have an issue with it. And I'm good at putting the work in, but I'm also like I gotta stay focused. I get distracted quite easily. Like even right now, I'm trying to Photoshop our
I can hear you clicking
thumbnail. Oh, really?
a little bit. Yeah.
Sorry. I'll.
No, no, no.
um,
Multitask away.
but um, but yeah, the point is that I wanted to do something that I hadn't seen before, and was something that like I could do as a creative outlet, and hopefully, get a spoiler. So I was just looking at the art, and like that's kind of what draws me into the games. I've played a few card games, and like it's always the world building, the art that like really like stands out to me. And then I get into the mechanics and the competitive scene and the like puzzles of it, and that's what my love becomes. But initially, it's always the art. And so I was just looking at the art, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I put myself as Chain? And I think on day one, I just had to play around with it on the free website called Photop. It's like Photoshop, but a web-based browser and free, which is great. Um, and I saw it, and like I couldn't do it very well. And I think it shows in the first one, which is like the whole image is skewed, and like I'm on the card, and then I couldn't change the shape of the size of the chain heads, so they're just like there floating around. But it was fun, and I giggled a lot. So I was like, this is fun, and I enjoy this. So let's keep trying to do it. And so I made about a week's worth in that first thing, and I was like, so if I'm doing that, I need, I can spare like half an hour, 40 minutes, and it ended up being about 15 minutes a day.
Mm.
Um, After there are a few like road bumps to that, but I could spare 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes, whatever. Uh, I could find the images, and I just needed to like make a little bit of a routine out of it. And so I did, and it was nice because I didn't really think about how much work it was, or like what I actually ended up doing, because it was just fun to do. So I really wanted to just do it, and I was having a really good time with it. And
Yeah.
uh, I think making content is all about following your passion, what you're interested in, and so uh, it just really was a good idea for me specifically for this. I found this really good.
So you actually answered my question at the very end. You started by making like seven.
Yeah, I think it was 6.
Sure, that made it easier to do 90 because you had a buffer, a small one, but
Yeah, so almost. I actually, I I think the routine was really important, but my routine ended up, like, doing the one for the next day, the one before, or,
mm,
like, at Baltimore, I knew that I was just gonna be out at the tournament all week, so I, like, spent an hour or 2 making enough for the weekend. And so, like, there was certain times where I, like, stockpiled it, but for most of the time, I knew kind of the timeline of how long it would take, and I just formed habits around making content at that time. Um, and so, like, having a buffer was really good. I just chewed up through it and then was, like, the skin of my teeth for some of these days.
it's I think one of the big challenges is to
Definitely.
maintain it. Um, I'm not trying to make a career out of YouTube, so when I don't maintain it, I don't like. I'm not hard on myself. It's not how I eat. Just had a very loud Facebook notification come up, but yeah, the takeaway if you're a content creator is have a buffer. Sometimes a buffer is as simple as having ideas lined up, not necessarily, which for you could be like having the art lined up. You don't need to do all the work outside of your routine, but
Yeah.
it really helps to have some ideas.
That
S-
was yeah, sorry for interrupting you. That was a big thing was, just knowing kind of like a base idea of like what art I wanted to use what days or like what art I was excited to Photoshop. And I think, um, it takes a certain type of personality to want to like be out there and do content as a creative outlet. And I think that's the biggest thing is just like following that interest and like utilizing that to be as effective as you can with some of your time. Like that ends up being quite important when you're just really trying to like be efficient and you don't want to burn yourself out, but you also want to like utilize your interest in this particular thing to do it.
Do you remember when we first met?
Um it was ProQuest, the first ProQuest in Sydney. It was RC. Was that the one I won?
It must have been Sydney. Yeah,
It
was
was
that the one where I streamed
oh,
upstairs?
uh that might have, yeah, yeah, it was. And that was, yeah, it's been kind of a nice thing because you know when my roommate and I Luke when Luke and I got into the game, like Canberra had a really small community and still does. It's pretty tiny, but we went to Sydney for like a tournament and we thought it'd be really fun. Everyone was super nice and like yeah, the people at RC crew were like really good and it was a really fun time. It was a really good experience into first like paper game because like when we got in, it was during COVID. I don't know if you we played during the online armories.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I joined the first like set that came out was Tails when I started playing,
Okay. Yeah.
but I didn't play during. I played after COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was we got in and we played COVID. So I had already met like Hayden and Nick and uh Noah and uh like people from RC crew and then getting to go in person was really nice to actually like put some names to some faces and voices to faces and such.
RC was a competitive. What's the word? It's like a war room, man.
Yeah.
Everyone,
It
like
was,
not that
yeah.
there's plenty of good players around Australia, but you had Nick Hayden, um,
Yeah.
Phil Roy,
Yeah. It had a pretty good
Ryan Lewis Jones, level
yeah,
two judge, Noah, level two judge. Well, Ryan was never level two, but he could have been.
it was pretty stacked. And
Yeah,
that was
those
fun.
armories were hard, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe it. But yeah, so I think that's when we first met and I remember you gave me some reduced rune chant promos because I hadn't started playing and you just had some and Yeah, it was really good. I still use them. They're the extended art non-foils.
Mm.
It was, yeah, very
That
good. But
was
yeah,
before I owned a card shop. I used to give away cards all the time.
yeah, got in lucky. I haven't needed. That's the problem. So I mean, I play a lot, but I only play Rune Blade and Ninja, and so like I own all the things that I like
Mm.
will play, and then I just haven't needed cards. I think in this one I'll probably need quite a few, because I'm a new Vincent main, obviously, unless there's chain. Oh, did I? Sorry, small side. I've got my
Very cool.
the first altered chain. It's a 9.5, which is ridiculous because I don't think it is. But um yeah. And then we hung out at Jersey, we hung out at Baltimore, at the
Yeah, we hung out in
Collins.
Canberra as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
when you come down.
and Melbourne for
Yeah,
nationals.
yeah,
I met your partner down there, I think.
yeah, yeah. She's great. She likes coming to like tournaments and then spending no time like at the tournament. She likes to go
That's the way to
explore.
do it.
Yeah, it's great. It's good that we have our own hobbies and like she's off doing cool stuff. And that was New Zealand when we were doing Auckland and we were on that nice stage playing cards. She was literally on like an island tour doing zip lining. Like, like good on her for having better hobbies. Although I love this. The community is so good here. That's been the thing that's kept me like really excited about it. It's just how nice everyone is.
Well, even the so we'll talk about your your journey with the Photoshop thing. 3 months
Yeah.
of it. Was it 3 months or 2 months? 60 or
3 months.
90?
It was 90
90
days
days.
exactly.
So
But I got the email on day 89 and then I was like,
you have to.
God, yeah, it'd be really fun if I could spoil the art on day 90, but I haven't gotten my actual card yet, so I don't know.
On that note, that I feel like they're playing this spoiler season a bit closer to the chest.
Yeah, which is
I
not
don't
bad.
think they want leaks and stuff happening. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Because even mine, I think I got 2 days notice,
Yeah,
and I'm
wow.
like, Alex, do you want me to like make a whole video, or what are we doing? But if you look at spoiler season, no one, so people appreciate the heavily edited, voiced over spoiler videos,
They
but
mostly want to see the card.
but also you can't control people just screenshotting.
Yeah.
Like I'm guilty of it, but I did tag IGN, but I screenshot the end of the IGN video and posted it everywhere
Got the free
because
clout.
I was worried people would look at the art and not click the video, like it's an IGN video,
Yeah.
Not worried, but I was so pumped. I still tagged them. But
Yeah.
so when you started posting, the first thought I had was, I like it. The problem is if LSS give you a preview card, it's gonna mean they might encourage shit posting. And I wasn't sure how much they wanted to encourage like people just making memes or photoshops and getting spoilers for that. But I also knew that who you are. So I know you're not shit posting, like you're a genuine chain simp, and
Yeah.
you like you're a great person. You're part of the community that keeps people around, if that makes sense. You're like, I can't imagine anyone talking anything bad about you. So I knew where it was coming from. But the fact that you did it for 90 days showed, like, I don't see like most people doing that, if that makes sense. If even if they tried, that's not an easy feat.
Yeah, what I think probably like I'm gonna be the first to admit, I think I was just in the right place at the right time and had the right idea first.
Hmm.
Because like, I'll be the first to acknowledge that like doing a post every day if everyone did it, and also did it of varying qualities and like various things that like, weren't just it's never going to be everyone's cup of tea, but like if everyone consistently did it, it would just be a can I swear?
Sure.
Sorry. It'd be a shit show. Like it would just
Yes.
be a
It
nightmare.
started
And
being,
yeah,
people started
yeah,
memeing you, and I'm like, guys, don't. The admins will just shut it down.
yeah. That was I think it's one of those things that I think why it kind of worked was it was just organic
Mm,
and everyone was kind of having fun. It wasn't really super like negative. It was just kind of some wholesome fun. And I think that was a big part of it. But yeah, I think that like, I don't plan on making every spoiler like doing a campaign every
yeah,
spoiler this season. I think this is just a good time to like find a little bit of a different creative outlet and use the skills that I've made with photoshopping, which skills is like a rough term. Uh because it is still a fun little thing, but try to use that in a different way that's a little bit more sustainable and on a different platform. Because I think the
mm,
fan page is really fun and it's really fun for getting news and having an understanding of like what's cool and all of that. But we don't want to, you know, you kind of still want it to do all of
yeah.
the news and the interest and like that what it was known for, like, at some point, it was just a lot of me posting, and that was actually do you know what's crazy that I just noticed the other day? I checked like, top contributor thing because I kept getting the
Yep.
notification, and I have, like, 8 times as much points or whatever than the next person down. Like, it's a crazy little thing,
Don't
I don't know what it was.
don't downplay how important that engagement is for Flesh and Blood the game. Like
Yeah,
people tuning in to any platform that promotes the game because the Fab fan page is where a lot of good stuff ends up, especially during spoiler season, errata season, whatever it may be. Um, Pro Tours Worlds, that's where a lot of stuff gets posted. The fact that people click like the algorithm ends up promoting the page more to those people. And what you did is very good exercise. If you're 8 times more than the next contributor, it's very valuable metrics for the page itself.
yeah, it was like yeah, it was I do think it was a little bit of a successful marketing campaign,
Oh yeah,
which was quite fun. I did also send you the what is I've sent you 2 potential, thumbnail clips, so you
nice.
really we're
I
just gonna
asked I asked Frank to make the thumbnail for this video because why would I Photoshop it? That wouldn't make any sense.
I could keep making some, don't worry.
So I have two ideas for you that I'd like
Yeah.
you to give me feedback on. I think you should become at least the art director of the fan page, maybe responsible for the banner image, right? At least every set, do something cool. It's not a super time consuming thing, but no one else should really like they should give you access to that banner image to do what you like,
That
if
would
that
be
makes
pretty
sense.
fun, and I could have some fun ideas for it.
Well, I think you should approach them and go, look, I'm getting engagement. Let me be a moderator. It'll be great. And I think
Yeah.
it's well deserved because you're only growing the community. There's really no negativity. You're not shit talking. At the end of the day, you're providing content that people want to see. Maybe not every day, but the
I am
banner image is a cool way to change the feel and look of the page every few weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I might chat with some people. I mean, I actually I messaged a few moderators a few different times because like one of the things that I got messages about was people really liked the images, but they wanted to see them all in one place or they wanted to like be able to find them on the fan page. So there was one point where I messaged Matt Rogers about like questioning if I updated a post, would it like go back to the top? Because I was at
Mm,
day like 71 or something. And then because I wanted to put a little hashtag chain train. Um, and we very quickly found out that it did in fact bump it up. So I was like, okay, I am not gonna spam. But
right.
yeah, so I've bothered Matt a few times and I've chatted with Kale, I think, once or twice. But yeah, so I might chat with him about that, and I am planning on making more content, and I'll definitely have you on. I think it would be fun because it's literally just kind of doing this in that I'm gonna keep like a screen share of me
Yes.
photoshopping you into your favorite card and just having a chat about why you love the game and like your part in the game. And this goes for really just like content creators and players because like everyone has a story that's really interesting. And then at the end, I'll reveal the card to you, and you can like tell me what you like about it, or if you hate it, or how we can improve it, and just a fun little series like that. But I think that would be a fun, like, sustainable way to continue making content and being part of the community because it's been great.
The second idea, someone tried to do this. It might have been Louis from Kitchen Table TCG back in the day, which was like a Photoshop competition
Oh,
or a fan art or make a card. I think it was a make a card competition. It became very spammy on the fan page, but the idea itself is very good. And if it was someone's YouTube channel, like if you make a YouTube channel, would be very good content to get people can submit entries and then you do
yeah.
giveaways. And maybe LSS will come on board and give you a content creator kit one day, which means you'll actually have giveaways for the people that
Yeah,
enter.
that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I love the game, and I love playing the game, and I think about the game a lot. I don't think I would be a good, um, like, developer or chatting about it, so because I think I just wanna do broken things or, give Runeblade too much things, but it would be very good content to look into, so I like it's a really good idea, and I think I will, give that a thought because
Mm.
yeah, it is a very good starting point what I'm gonna do, but also there's a lot of different avenues that you can kind of go with, especially with this kind of like Photoshop or like making other people's stuff. That's another thing that I learned really like not super quickly, but it was just important to like give the artists their credit because like I'm doing my fun, silly little thing, but like I didn't make the art. Like
Yes.
the people who actually worked and are super talented and made it, uh, like they made my part really easy. You know, like it
Yes.
was they were doing all the cool stuff, and I think there were a few artists that like commented on posts and stuff, and they seemed to have a good time with it. But I did like I was going to try and email 'cause some arts are like quite elusive.
Yes.
You just cannot find certain arts for your life. And I was gonna email some artists about it, but then I was like, how do I approach somebody and be like, I'm doing this like baby meme series where I will put my face on your art, and can I have a full art version of it, please? That's a hard sell. But yeah, I think I have seen some there's like shout out to I think his name is like Derek. He's always posting on the fan page.
Mm.
Derek Chin Chia Shen, and he was talking about like what would be cool like mechanics or cards to play on the fan page. And that was really interesting. I read through the thread and I didn't post because like again, not a I just want to do broken things for the cards that I like. But uh yeah, it's a really cool concept. And the creativity of the community is always really, really fun to see.
Frank, I won't keep you too much longer,
All good.
but congrats on this. So you haven't seen it yet.
No, so I got the email uh last I got the spoiler email and
Mhm.
I got a tattoo. I got it's just there. I it was a really good day. I had a great day.
Show it again because I
Yeah,
laughed and it switched.
sorry. Eh, just
No,
some
you need to
stairs.
talk.
Oh,
Sorry, you need
okay.
to
So
talk when you.
it's an oval and it's just some stairs and a moon and it's still healing. But yeah, I think I've accidentally done some like play space stuff with my tattoos because they're all like basic shapes and and art inside of them that I like. So I need a rectangle and a triangle and we'll be good. Um, but yeah, it was a good day. I got a tattoo. I got the spoiler email, and I like within 3 minutes of the email, I sent another response email to Alex, seeing if I could maybe get some art. Oh no, I we can't use one of the pages, one of the thumbnails. Somebody else just used it, and
It's okay.
I Yeah, unfortunate. Anyways, uh, yes. So, yeah, it was great, and I haven't heard back from them yet, which uh is fine for me because I have like a set idea of what I'm doing with my actual spoiler video. But yeah, I also am on the second, so
Well, my
hopefully we see it soon.
birthday's on the 3rd, so I'm gonna be having a
Ooh,
great weekend.
yeah, happy birthday.
Also, uh, Alex is usually very responsive, and he hasn't replied to me in 3 days. I just think he's snowed under, and there could be some internal delay or some art is late or whatever it is, because
Yeah,
there's a lot of assets. So I think there's something up. It's also a weekend right now, so
yeah. I do think that this is probably the most ambitious like spoiler season that they've done so far. And so it's just a lot of moving pieces, and
mm.
so it is quite a small team. So yeah, give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm sure I'll get it at some point. And hopefully it won't be a Prism spoiler.
I think it's maybe a really good sign they're so protective of the spoilers this season. They might be crazy good, and the art is obviously already what we've seen is insane,
Yeah,
top tier.
I cannot wait to tell everyone how broken my spoiler is, and it's going to be something like Runaways or um but yeah, I'm really excited for Dust Till Dawn, and like I like the narrative that they've started doing, and like yeah, the art has been stellar. It's just going to be a really fun set, and I think it's going to be a cool thing getting back to Monarch. Have you played any Monarch
Yeah,
in preps for Nats and stuff?
we convinced our locals to go Monarch draft on Thursday night, so with 3 weeks deep.
Oh, sweet. How have you found that?
Well, Hayden's turned up every week, so it's been terrible.
Yeah. Look,
No, it's good. I
you
went
know,
2-1 last time. I'm learning. Uh, I was the only chain. I read signals properly this time. Yeah.
I was gonna say I did a 7-person draft last week, and I was the only chain as well. So I played 38 cards, and it was truly the flesh and blood that I love, because like the reason that I like chain, besides just like being thematically so interesting, the like I've made a deal with the devil and it's killing me, but also I have all of these extra resources. It's really good. Is just it's all like a puzzle. You're just like, I need to sequence this so I don't kill myself, and so that I don't I use all of my resources as efficiently as possible. And yeah, being the only chain and like having several seeds of agony and like an overload that was pretty good, and just like several Howl from Beyonds was just very cool.
Mm.
Um, I don't think I'll get that lucky in Nats to be the only chain, but you know, I guess I probably have to draft something else at some point.
I feel like it's very odd because we've been playing Monarch Heroes for so long that people still have this. Oh, there's going to be a lot of Prism, so I might go Levia. But then, you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
changed. Actually, all the heroes are quite good in draft. I think Levia is probably the hardest to draft or play properly.
I
Like
believe that. Yeah,
it's more challenging because you got to start with a full graveyard. You need to block a lot and do all that kind of thing to turn
yeah.
off your blood debt later. Like it doesn't play like a normal flesh and blood hero, but
It's pretty strange because Levia still, I think, almost plays like no other hero. And I think she's missing a few pieces at the moment to like really do it. But that game plan of like, I have to block out for the first several turns, and then once I start my engines, I can't stop or I die, is a really interesting like game plan. And it's really hard to do super correctly, but like you really get rewarded if you can like pivot that. And it'll be interesting to see what how the Monarch like draft meta kind of develops. Just seeing that as like when people started and when Monarch was there, it just wasn't drafted a ton because it was,
yeah,
you know, 2020 or whatever. Um 2021? It was
I'm
lockdown
not
for
sure, but it was
yeah.
early.
Yeah. Um but like, you know, people being like the shadow heroes are bad, or like you need Bolton like is unplayable or stuff like that. I don't think that's true, and I think that it's a pretty well designed set. I think there's a few bombs that kind of like blow things out of the water, but like it's very fun, and I think you'll really get rewarded for reading signals, which uh we'll see how that goes.
Is the bomb Luminaris?
Luminaris is something. Uh there's like V for the Vanguard. It's
Mm,
weird because you kind of like Bolton doesn't really work if you don't have V for the Vanguards or Luminaris essentially, and you don't have a critical mass of those kind of
mm.
cards. But like playing against them, it can be rough.
I feel like Spill Blood is not too bad either.
That's Spillblood's quite strong, yeah.
Mm,
So that's there's a few cards, but like Tales of Aria draft. I thought the drafting was really good, and you could pivot and you could pick an archetype really well. But the actual gameplay, I found kind of like boring in the sense that you would either go to fatigue, or if you were at anything below 10, then you were just essentially dead to like a big dominated attack,
mm.
or your opponent played Winter's Whale and you're just like, okay, let's go get lunch, I'm done. Like uh there were quite a few bombs like that in Aria, and I don't think it's as bad with Monarch, but I think that like if you have a Levia deck and you didn't draft enough sixes, or you didn't like have a set way to win, your deck's bad and you're not
Yeah.
going to have a good time. So it is kind of hard like that, or like a chain deck that doesn't have a lot of non-attack actions. Like you can have that lacking thing, but also if you can like figure out where you need your seat is, you can really get rewarded for it. So um it's fun, and I'm excited to do some sealed and just, I mean, play chain, really, if we're being honest.
Any opportunity to play chain legally, huh?
Yeah, gosh. I've been playing it in Blitz lately, and it's been a
Mm.
menace, so love to do it.
Yeah, Husk is pretty good.
Yeah, especially when you start at 20 life.
Husk is going to be very good on Vincent, I believe, as well.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what the actual shadow cards are, because, like, Vincent at a base rate is almost just, like, almost an upgrade to Viz already, in the sense that, Viz over, like, this Viz, the Zach Bunn Viz, it's, like, 6 to 8 damage that you get from his ability. Um Vincent has like shadow puppetry and carrion husk, and like we haven't seen the other things that she does, but she
Yeah.
has unblockable damage, which like how much is that going to be worth over? I don't know. I'm pretty excited to play around with it, but I do feel bittersweet for Viz, who's like one of my homies.
Mm.
Yeah,
I like because James has confirmed every hero that'll LL will eventually get like a Starvo treatment. They have that in
sick.
mind to do. So chain is coming. It's not just not
Yeah,
yet. And I like that. I like that they've picked one hero, not two in one set, if you know what I mean.
yeah. I think the other thing that's going to be interesting is seeing. So I liked Chain, but I didn't really know his story, and he's like the big bad guy. Like he's
Ish.
yeah, yeah. I didn't realize that until very recently, and how Vincent is like one of his underlings. And that's fun, and I like seeing the characters interconnected, and like god, the Arya crew, Lexi, Oldham and Briar are just like hanging out all the time now. It's very it's very funny seeing.
I don't like seeing Dory in the same art as like Oldham and Lexi. I'm like, these are like natural predators for what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, Dory, I they really have kind of put her as one of the faces of the game lately in the last few sets, right?
That worries me.
you think do you think she's gonna get too strong, or you think she's gonna be too weak? Like what's the problem with her being the face?
I think there's some heroes in the game where their hero text is what holds them back. Uh, Levia's probably one of them. Dory, like if Dory's weapon said twice per turn, she'd be S tier. But instead, her ability is on hit. Like on hit weapon comes twice a
It
turn. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not trying to fix Dory. I'm trying to say because it's face up, because if I don't hit you, I can't swing again. She's very easy to counter.
yeah.
And I don't know if that's fixable without breaking her. You can give us a whole bunch of 0 for 4 attack reacts with no reprise, but that'll break her, not fix her.
Yeah, the double limitation is one of the most interesting things about her, is that not only like does your weapon not innately have go again, or have like it can hit a second time because it does say once per action, but also the fact that you have to physically hit because like unless you have twinning blade, it's just like,
Mm,
oh, I've committed to blocking out, and
yep.
it sucks that you didn't hit
And
because now even if you have go again,
they've never printed Twinning Blade again. So they printed reactions that give go again, reactions that give damage. But Twinning Blade, they never printed anything similar because I think if you just had a Twinning Blade in every second hand, she's broken.
yeah, I
But
believe
we'll
it.
see. The thing that might fix her if they go light is not to make her work like Bolton, make her work like Prism. If you pitch a yellow, the weapon gets to go again, something like that. Because if we have to pitch yellows, our resource curve is really wonky. But then we play all the good cards, and yeah, the weapon not having go again is look. I don't know
That'd
how
be
to
pretty
fix it. Same as
interesting.
you. I just want her to be good. But
Yeah. Yeah. It has been kind of a thing in that I can't tell if I like that Runeblade does powerful things or if I like the game actions that Runeblade does and that accidentally does powerful things. Um
well, Levia has a similar play style to Chain in the sense of she's super powerful, but will kill herself. Like she's also got to deal with the devil. You know what I mean? But you
yeah.
don't play her because you know inherently it's not fun to lose.
I think what I because I played Levia when I first started and I haven't touched her since, but I think I fundamentally misunderstood her in that I was just trying to go off, like I was trying to be proactive, and I don't
Mm.
think she's necessarily a proactive deck. And that's something that I do put a lot of emphasis on for like my game styles, is that I like being proactive. Um,
Yep.
and I think Levy, you have to be quite reactive up until a point, and that just isn't really my play style. So I think that's why I didn't click with it. But like, if I play enough Monarch draft, maybe I'll learn. That was Dromai. I did not like Dromai at all.
Neither.
Um, but she was the deck that I ended up drafting the most at the end of Uprising Limited because I just forced myself to learn from her. And now I like find that game plan like quite interesting. And it's not something I'm gonna go play when I have the opportunity, but like I'll probably draft a Dromai deck in an Uprising draft
Mm.
most of the time if I see a Ember Moss Cinepi.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll see how it goes, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what the shadow cards are because like what we've seen of light mostly has been quite strong, but we haven't seen any shadow stuff
I
yet.
like
So
that. They're doing the
yeah,
spoiler season so well that way.
yeah,
Is they're showing us like the obvious, like, oh, here's Prism. You know, here's
yeah.
some light cards. Here's her weapon, and then little dribs of the shadow stuff.
How do how do you feel about the like unity mechanic and the party like setting up for
So,
actual PvE?
firstly, Unity mechanic seems like Dory. I lose a lot in the if a game is a beginning phase, middle, and end. In the end phase, where I've got 6 counters, but we're both locked into blocking with 2 cards a turn,
Mm,
and then you have to block with 4, and then you just lose the game because your weapon. You've worked so hard to get this strong weapon and sacrifice life to do it. The way Prism used to play auras, like you
yeah,
sacrifice the life resource, get the auras, and then win. Dory sacrifices a life, gets counters, but if you don't snowball after that, you just lose. Unity, if I'm reading it correctly, says a courage token. Courage of blade holders
it
sword
costs
swings
one
cost
less.
1 less. So if I can block for 4, gain 2 resources with refractions up, I can
It's
swing
pretty
for
cool. Yeah.
15 or sorry 16 or whatever the number ends up 2 times 8, or threading it. So
I do
that
think yeah.
incentivizing blocking on a WTR hero where my whole deck blocks for 3 is really good. Also, I love that Xi'an is getting all this theory crafting. I love that.
She's gonna be such a menace. I think that's the thing that I like the most about Unity as a mechanic is that there's been a lot of decks that have been prevalent lately that have just really been, I'm gonna try and race you and we'll see what happens. And
Mm.
like some of the decks are a little bit worse than the others at it, so you have to try and block. But like being incentivized to block and rewarded for blocking is really good to kind of getting that like back and forth gameplay that really
Yes.
kind of defines Flesh and Blood.
Well,
So yeah, go.
Dory's a go second deck, and if I draw 4 Unity cards, you know,
Woo! It's
right?
happening.
Because that's
Yeah.
what you want. Imagine if you block and you get a counter and 2 resources next turn. That's your turn one. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's same as the Bolton stuff where you're incentivized or there's extra value when you charge a certain card. It's just minor, but it makes a big difference over the course of a classic constructor game.
Yeah, yeah, and I am kind of excited for people to bust out these crazy Shiana decks because, like, you can literally play an Oakenold now, and it's just fine. It's just like you can fuse for
Yeah.
it, and it's not even a problem. Which is, you know, I don't miss playing against that card, if we're being honest.
Is Oakenald a specialization?
Yeah, I think so.
Also,
Okay.
she gets to use Vincett's weapon, which finally means she has a weapon that doesn't break.
Yeah. Oh, so it's just an earth and ice.
Yeah, Oldham
So yeah, okay.
Oldham
You don't
spec is
even
not.
need Oakenold. Oh,
Oakenold
it's
looks
Endless
like a
Winter.
specialization. Mm.
Endless Winter, yeah. Which is also a menace.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, but the thing is, Frankie, you won't know. That's the thing. When you sit in front of Shiana, especially at not your locals, you don't know if they're playing all the big attacks or all the arcane specializations or, you
oh,
know?
I know. If you're not playing Endless Winter, hey, this is to any future Shiana main. If you're not playing Endless Winter, you're not playing the right deck. Put Endless Winter in your Shiana deck, and then there's like 3 different ice specializations, man.
Mm.
If you're not doing this package, you're not playing Shiana, please.
Frank,
Ugh.
do you want to plug anything? Do you have your channel set up yet?
I'm building it now. I
Do you
wanted to
have a
have
name?
a few things on it. No, right now it's just my tag, frankly, my dear, with 3 A's
Okay.
in the middle. But I do have a Twitter, and that is also at frankly, my dear. And we will have something for you soon, and I'll definitely have you on as one of my first guests, John. And I'll need to know, what's your favorite card, mate?
Oh, it's a hard one, man.
Put you
I
on the
actually
spot
like
right
I
now.
like Chroma the most. I spoiled that
Oh,
card and Timmy and I did like a funny Thunder episode around it.
heck yeah.
But yeah, Chromai is my favorite card because I spoiled an absolute powerhouse of a card. There
Yeah.
is no draw my list without Chromai.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that's a really fun part of the game's history, right? Like this card you play against it. That's Jackie. Jackie from Fab Workshop, I
Mm.
think. She's one of our locals. She's lovely. Every time somebody plays a humble against her, she's like, that was my spoiler card. And you know, good on her. I probably could Photoshop you writing this. I'm gonna need,
That's what I want.
yeah, I'm
I
gonna
want
need some.
flowing blonde hair like Daenerys Targaryen.
I can work with that. Yeah. I'm gonna need some information. Like I'll need some photos from you, but we'll talk about that outside.
I'll
And
send I'll send my hidden folder. You can
yeah,
grab what you want.
perfect, perfect. Yeah, we'll definitely do this and have you on, and we can just chat more about the game and like have a good little time as I'm doing this, as I'm doing the photoshopping. If we can get over the clicking, I think I've been
It's
frantically
fine.
clicking the whole
You're fine.
time.
He was photoshopping as we were speaking, guys. That's what he does now.
Yeah, I have to practice as much as I can. Because I want to make sure that I can, you know, entertain while also doing this thing. Because it's literally going to be a screen share of me doing it while I'm chatting with you. So,
Guys,
uh,
if you're still watching this, like, subscribe. Frank's details will be down below, Twitter and YouTube handle when it's up. And go draft some Monarch and
yeah.
enjoy the spoiler season.
And hey, look at the art. People work so hard on every single card art that's in this game, and it's all so gorgeous that like we need to like acknowledge it and just actually notice it. Because like I don't know about you, John, but like for a long time, there's cards that sometimes I just have to stare at because I'm like,
Mm.
why is there a person in this? I just haven't looked at it because I've only read the card. And I think that's one of the coolest parts of this game. So check out your art.
While we're on the topic, wouldn't you buy the art book for each set?
God, yes. That's
Everyone would.
yeah. There's a reason that besides being a collector's item that the lore book is so sought after.
Mm.
People love to see it in like actual physical copies. And like you can find it online, but it's not the same.
Yeah, but look behind me. Like, I
Yeah,
get people over that don't play Fab, but a lot of people that do.
absolutely so.
There is detail in this. It's not a painting, but it says detail in this art that would cannot see on the small card to begin with.
I remember when Federico was selling those. That's
Mm.
I've been such a menace to poor Federico because every time I see him, I've just come up giggling with a card art and tried to explain to him how I want him to like desecrate my chain cards. And he's such a good sport, but yeah, he's he sees me and also starts giggling because he knows that it's going to be a dumb request. But yeah, thank you so much, John, for having me on, and it's been fun.
Thanks for jumping up.
Awesome.